Hey there, folks. Tim here. One of the amazingly awful things about the internet and social media and LinkedIn in particular is that no matter how much you advance your career or grow your skills or achieve whatever it is your definition of success is, no matter how much amazing crap that you do, if you're somebody like me, and I know there's a lot of you out there like this, so let me know down in the comments, be vulnerable. No matter how much greatness you put out into the world, we all have this amazing ability of finding that one person or that person. You don't even have to know them. You just find that person who's doing it better than you. You know what I mean? They've achieved more success than you have, or at least you perceive it that way, or they're further along in their career than you are, or they're making more money than you are, right? And we start comparing ourselves against those people. And the thing that you have to remember when you find yourself doing that, because it usually then starts the imposter syndrome cycle and all of that sort of stuff. The thing that you have to remember is that you're actually not comparing yourself against their journey. You're comparing yourself against the result of their journey. You know what I mean? They're on a different journey than you are. They're further down the path or further up the trail or further up the mountain than you are. And where you're at is exactly where you're supposed to be at. And you shouldn't be comparing yourself against somebody who's already at the top of the mountain, because I promise you, once you get to the top of that peak where you were comparing yourself against that person, there's a whole nother peak where you're gonna be like, oh shit, there's a whole bunch of other people there that you're going to compare yourself against. And it's going to it's a cycle, you know what I mean? And you have to recognize that cycle. And the other thing you have to recognize too is that yeah, of course, some of those people ended up there with dumb luck. They were in the right place at the right time. But the story that we tell ourselves is that there must have been some sort of secret formula they followed, or something, that they did that if I just knew, I could achieve their same level of success. And the truth is that doesn't exist either. I get asked all the time, people will ask me how did you end up doing the thing that you're doing? How did you achieve the thing that you did? And my answer is I just worked really hard consistently for a long time. I did a lot of shit consistently for a long time. And that's how it happened. And that's true for a lot of the people that you're comparing yourself against. They just kept trudging along and stumbling up that mountain, and they're at that peak, and they're looking at another peak that's further on than they are. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? So let me know down in the comments what you think about that. It reminds me of this quote that I always like to remind myself of, and I want to remind you of, is that, hard work, persistence, dedication, consistency, all of those things create events that other people call luck. All right? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Bye.